Hello, third grade. This is Mr. Chavez, and we'll be learning about geometry today. Let's look at the standard of what we're going to be working in the next couple of weeks. So what things we're going to be trying to work on is reasons with shapes and their attributes. So pretty much what we're going to be understanding is understand the shapes in different categories may share attributes and that the shared attributes can define a larger category. Recognize rhombuses, rectangles, and squares as examples of quadrilaterals, and draw examples of quadrilaterals that do not belong to any of these subcategories. You might be thinking, what did you just say, Mr. Chavez? Well, don't worry. In the next couple of weeks and in this lesson today, we're going to be learning a bit more about it. And the essential question is, how can geometric shapes help me solve real-world problems? And the goal is to identify and group shapes together by attributes. So before we continue on more about this lesson and this standard, let's have a review about what we learned in the previous years, maybe in first grade, second grade, even kindergarten. So let's talk about shapes. We know about triangle, square, rectangle, trapezoid, parallelogram, trapezoids, rhombus, pentagon, hexagon, circles, and ovals. So if we look at the rectangle, we can identify that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. Okay. And if we compare the rectangle to the circle, we can see that the circle has no angles, has no sides. So just by thinking, can we put this in the same category? Do they belong together? Do they share the same characteristics and attributes? All right, now let's take two other shapes. Let's take the parallelogram and let's take the square. So if we start with the square, we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. Now let's look at the parallelogram. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. So by looking at their attributes, one can say that they do belong. They belong in the same category. And to practice just a little bit on attributes and finding the similarities and differences of shapes, let's play this quick little game. And if you ever feel that you forget, you can always go back to this game and practice. It's pretty simple. So what shape is this? Square, circle, triangle, rectangle? Pretty sure it's a square. Let's continue on. Okay, how many sides does the shape have? So let's look at this shape. If you can remember what it is, perfect. But right now, all they're asking for you is the sides. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. And let's continue. How many sides does this shape have? Oh, if you were paying attention earlier about what I just talked about, we know that the circle has no sides. So we'll click C. Correct. All right, what shape is this? Let's say I forgot. Oh, I forgot what a hexagon is. I forgot what an octagon is. I forgot what an oval is. I forgot what a trapezoid is. Don't worry. So you could continue playing this game for review. You could go back to it. It's pretty fun. But just in case you need a more of a refresher, let's go back. And then here, we could go back to the shapes. And we see, oh, that's a pentagon. That's a hexagon. And for more help, you could click on the link here, and it leads you to a video of YouTube that helps you remember and refresh your memory about shapes and their attributes. Most likely I'm going to get a commercial right now, but that's okay. Oh, I did not.
Hey
so
guys,
it's a 3-minute.
We will be learning.
It's a 3-minute video that you can go back and review some shapes, but we're going to continue moving on. So now, let's start with an open-ended task. I want you guys to find a shape with 4 attributes with 4 sides, with the attributes with 4 sides and 4 angles. And I've added a little technology here to help you support your thinking. So you click on the link to try to figure out what shape has 4 sides and 4 angles. So here we have a geoboard, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we have more options. So the question, the open-ended question was 4 sides, 4 angles. The first one that pops into my mind is a square, but that's not our only option. Let's see, there's one, and remember, a square has 4 equal sides, so I have to make them equally the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll connect it right there. And now I can finish off my square. Oops. Drag this back here. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides with 4 angles. But it doesn't have to be a square. We could kind of change it up, and let's get creative. If I change this one here, change this one here. Oop, not that one. Oh. And let's change one here. All right. Do I have 4 sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Do I have 4 angles? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. So you can get creative and you can create your own shape as long as they have 4 sides and 4 angles. And again, the attributes we're looking for are 4 sides and 4 angles. And you could always go back to this resource when you want to make and create your own shapes. And now, for homework and independent practice, we're going to describe each shape, determine the number of sides and angles, then classify each shape. So here we have a certain shape. You're going to have to figure out the sides and the angles. We have another real world shape that you might see on the street. Let's count the sides to see how many angles. And then here we have a chessboard, and we also have to figure out the sides and angles. And then you have to identify what shape it is. And as we get better and move on, we'll be classifying each shape and how determining their attributes, what categories they'll be under. So again, for example, does this square, oops, I gave you the answer for this one, similar to this shape? And is this shape similar to that shape? So as we go on, we're going to have to be identifying and observing different attributes of shapes. So we have a better understanding and we can grasp this standard here. And then eventually, our goal will be to identify and group shapes together by attributes. All right, kids, have fun doing your independent practice. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.